Yes!
Hey everyone, Dante here with the Raging Geek, and today I want to do something a little different. I wanted to do a sort of show and tell with some used WWE retro action figures that I picked up recently at my local comic shop. Let you know what I pay for them, give you an idea of the significance of these figures to me. So, wrestling figures, to be honest, not something I collect often, and a wrestling fan in general, not something I really am. Growing up in the 80s, there probably wasn't too many young people that didn't like the likes of Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and all those other characters from the early WWF days. As you grow up, though, you either become a more diehard wrestling fan, I want to say, or you kind of fall out of it. And the mystique kind of starts wearing off. There was a time when, probably in the early 2000s, when my interest in wrestling kind of got a little reinvigorated. And there was three notable wrestlers in particular I was kind of fixed on, and they kind of were inspirational in certain ways, particularly Scott Steiner. I don't know, if you like to work out, he definitely was, very motivational. Other characters like Triple H, another motivational figure, and Ric Flair. I want to say more for theatrics, and he was just fun to watch in general. But I was at my local comic store. I have to say, in particular, the Scott Steiner figures you really, I mean, me personally, I don't see in the wild often. So to find them on the store racks, I was kind of taken back, and I got a little excited, um, and surprisingly so. The prices of some of these Scott Steiner figures kind of caught me off guard, and I didn't realize that some of these figures go for a premium. So I want to take a look at each of these figures, and just tell you who the character is, the year of the figure, the price I paid for it, do a brief display of each one just so you get a head to toe look, and that's it. My version of a Raging Geek show and tell. So just off the bat, starting from left to right, we have Ric Flair, then we have Triple H, and the remaining three are three different Scott Steiners that I found. We're going to take a look at each one left to right, and feel free to leave comments. Do you have these figures? Are you on the hunt for some of these figures? It'd be nice to know. So I want to start off with the Ric Flair figure. Um, you know, right off the bat, I mean, I guess you can get an idea of what he's, the facial expression and what he's saying. He's doing his signature, woo! Definitely this figure added a bit of, I want to say, glam to Ric Flair. I mean, he almost looks like he's posing for some sort of model shoot or something. The way they've really chiseled him up, and with his glammed out hair. So this is a 2004 WWE figure. This is from Jakks Pacific. So taking a look from head to toe, Ric Flair. Great looking action figure. I got this particular figure at my local comic store. $8. Just to add, when buying secondhand figures, you always got to give them a good wipe down before you add them to the collection. Say goodbye to Ric Flair. Woo! And let's say hello to our next wrestler here, Triple H. That's some great expression. Now, I'll be honest, for probably the first 5 seconds, When I saw this action figure, I was kind of debating whether this was a Shawn Michaels action figure or a Triple H figure. Then I was talking to the guy at the comic store, and we kind of thought that it might be some sort of hybrid figure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Triple H figure. I mean, you can tell by the brow, the thick protruding brow, and the nose, the bridge of the nose. But yeah, for a brief time I was a little hesitant to get the figure. And also, I feel like in relation to the other figures, it's not sized appropriately, because Triple H is very tall, and standing this figure next to other Jakks action figures, of and around the same time, he stands at the same height. So it would have been nice to see them give him a head up on the other action figures that are realistically shorter than him. But $7 for this action figure, and this is a 1999 Titantron live action figure. And again, this is from Jakks Pacific. You gotta love the expression. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Triple H. Like, King Kong ain't got nothing on this. Look at me." So, 23-year-old action figure. And on to our next wrestler, Scott Steiner. Now, Scott Steiner, my personal favorite. For a while it was actually a coin toss between Scott Steiner and Triple H, and then, I don't know, something just happened, and I just totally jumped on Team Freakzilla. I love kind of every time he talks back to one of his opponents, he's like, "You want to fight with Freakzilla?" He's like, Are you out of your mind? You wanna fight this? You wanna fight Freakzilla?" Yeah, I love these Scott Steiner figures. They're just all veined up. There's veins popping out everywhere. But this particular figure, $10. And this is a WWE figure, and this is a 2003 Jakks figure. We'll just get a quick head to toe on this. And we'll take a look at our next wrestler, Scott Steiner again. Another 2003 Jakks figure. Now, they did a little more detail with the muscles on this figure, I want to say. There's more ripping, especially across the chest area, and the arms and the shoulders and the traps, and I want to say pretty much everywhere. But the one thing I like about this figure is the Freakzilla on the back of his pants there. Freakzilla! That's me, Freakzilla! You seriously wanna mess with Freakzilla? And this particular figure, $25. So now the prices are starting to rise dramatically. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would pay $25 for a used wrestling action figure. But I did. I've been to a lot of shows too, and there was a time when I was actually on the hunt for just Scott Steiner figures, and yeah, it's hard to find Scott Steiner figures, especially in the package. Still in the package, and if they are in the package, they're really beat up. So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna chalk it up to being a coveted figure among wrestling fans. I hear a lot of mixed reviews on Scott Steiner. Talking to wrestling fans, and either you love him or you're really not a fan of him at all. And that's putting it lightly. And I'm not sure why. I mean, I definitely like the persona that he projects. It's definitely fun and entertaining, but apparently not for some fans, and I think other wrestlers. So some food for thought there. And the last one we have here, this is a 2007 figure. Now, the thing that really got me on this figure was the coif. This coif is probably why this figure costed as much as it did. And I would imagine, you could probably use this on the other figures too, to some degree. But you'll be hard pressed to find a Scott Steiner figure with a coif, or not pay a premium to get a Scott Steiner figure with a coif. But this is without the coif, what he looks like. And obviously, yeah, definitely showing his age. They even got the chest detailing where his pecs are kind of like spreading apart more. And there's like discussion boards on this. There's like discussion threads on this. On what he might have been suffering from his chest muscles tearing apart. There's like YouTube videos on it. But yeah, definitely Scott Steiner pushing the limits of the human body, especially when it comes to upper body performance. And yeah, this action figure has a lot of color variations, which I don't know what that's about either. His head and his arms are different skin tone than his torso, which is very peculiar. And this is a 2007 toy. This is from a company called Marvel Toys. Now, I don't know if this is like Marvel, like Marvel the comic, like Spider-Man and all those guys. But yeah, it's from a company called Marvel Toys. And put his coif on here. I know in the grand world of wrestling action figures, it's probably not much, but this particular action figure costed me $45. Now, if the $25 action figure, I would have never thought I'd buy that, a used wrestling action figure for $25. No way in hell I would have thought I would spend almost $50 for a used wrestling action figure. But for some reason, being Scott Steiner, I had to have it. And I don't really have much more of an explanation than that. So, quick close-up visual. I'm not really a big fan of those ball jointed leg connections. I mean, those are kind of weird. The arms too, they don't move very well, I gotta tell you. The action figures of that are very clunky, especially with the legs and the arms. But I mean, it could be also due to just the oversized biceps they gave him. But even the legs, that they don't move very well. I mean, his arms, they're like kind of like fixed like that. If I try to move them up and down, it's very hard. I don't know if it's because it's just of the toy's age or what, but they don't move very well, and frankly, I don't want to try to move them too much. I mean, I'm just glad to have the figure. And that's it, folks. So, if you're a fan of Scott Steiner, Triple H, or Ric Flair, I would suggest you going down to your local toy/comic store and seeing if they have any secondhand wrestling figures. Because I know a lot of the comic stores by me, they all sell some wrestling figures, even if it's just a couple. But I've been seeing more and more of them, with the secondhand figures. I mean, they just kind of put them in these cellophane bags and they price them out, and they're pricing them, for the most part. I want to say on average is like $8 to $10. But then you have these more desirable and rarer figures like the Scott Steiner one, and they can go anywhere from $50 to $100 easily, and I can only imagine if there's some that even go for more. But again, not a wrestling expert, as far as memorabilia, toys, things like that. But definitely these three guys that I just showed you, these three action figures, on my top 3 list, and just something I wanted to share with the audience. So this was the Raging Geek. I hope you enjoyed this video. Come again soon. Take care. And you want to mess with Freakzilla?
Raging Geek, Retro, all things geek, where geeks can be geeks. Raging Geek, Retro, all things geek, where geeks can be geeks.